The world is starving for one specific thing right now: GPU power. Those are the specialized chips that render movie quality graphics and train artificial intelligence, and demand for them has exploded so fast that even giants like Amazon and Google can't supply enough. Meanwhile, millions of powerful GPUs sit idle in homes and studios around the world, doing nothing most of the day. Render Network looked at that mismatch and asked a simple question: what if we could connect the two? Today, no hype and no price predictions, just a clear breakdown of what Render is, how it works, what it's used for in 2026, and the honest risks. Let's get into it. So what is Render Network? The easiest way to picture it is like an Airbnb for computing power. On one side, you have people who own GPUs but aren't using them around the clock. On the other side, you have 3D artists, animation studios, and AI developers who desperately need that power. Render is the marketplace that connects them. Someone with a heavy job, say rendering a complex 3D scene or running an AI task, submits it to the network, and people around the world with spare GPUs process it and get paid in the Render token. The problem it solves is real and expensive. High-end GPU power is scarce, costly, and dominated by a few huge cloud companies. By pooling idle machines globally, Render aims to make that power cheaper and more available. And here's an important distinction. Render isn't a blockchain like Bitcoin or Ethereum that you build apps on. It's a specialized network for one job, GPU compute, with a token that makes the whole marketplace run. Now the backstory, which gives it more credibility than most. Render is backed by a real, established company called OTOY, a cloud graphics firm behind professional rendering software that artists have used for years. Its founder, Jules Urbach, launched the Render Network in 2017 to take that rendering technology and decentralize it. It originally ran on the Ethereum blockchain, but in late 2023, it migrated to Solana to take advantage of much faster speeds and lower fees, which matters a lot when you're processing many small jobs. That move set the stage for Render's big expansion beyond just graphics into artificial intelligence. So how does it actually work? The flow is straightforward. A creator uploads a GPU-heavy job. The network distributes that work to node operators, the people supplying their GPUs who crunch the job and send back the finished result. To make sure everyone's honest, Render uses a system called proof of render, which validates that a job was actually completed correctly before the operator gets paid. Payment happens in the Render token. Because the whole thing now runs on Solana, transactions are fast and cheap enough to handle a high volume of these jobs smoothly. Think of it as a global, always-on rendering farm, except instead of one company owning all the machines in one building, the machines are scattered across thousands of independent owners worldwide. That brings us to what it's used for, which is one of Render's real strengths, because there's genuine demand. Its original home is high-end creative work: 3D rendering, visual effects, motion graphics, architectural visualization, and the kind of detailed scenes used in film and design. Artists and even studios have run real projects on the network, but the fast-growing frontier is artificial intelligence. The same GPUs that render graphics are exactly what's needed to train and run AI models. So Render has launched dedicated capacity for AI workloads, like model training and inference. This puts Render right at the intersection of two of the biggest themes in technology: decentralized infrastructure, often called DePIN, and the AI boom. In plain terms, it's a network of real-world hardware, coordinated by crypto, feeding the world's hunger for compute. Now the Render token, and this is where it gets genuinely interesting, because the token model is tied directly to real usage. Render uses something called burn-mint equilibrium. Here's the simple version. When someone pays for a rendering job, the tokens they spend are permanently destroyed or burned. At the same time, new tokens are minted to reward the node operators who did the work. So the more the network is actually used, the more tokens get burned. This directly links the token supply to genuine demand for the service, rather than to pure speculation. On top of paying for jobs and rewarding operators, the Render token also gives holders a say in governance, voting on how the network evolves. It's a usage-driven design, which many see as one of its more honest tokenomics models in crypto. So what does Render do well? First, and most importantly, real demand. Unlike projects built on a vague, use-idle computers pitch, Render solves a specific, expensive professional problem that creators genuinely pay to fix. Second, it has a mature foundation, the backing of an established graphics company, and years of real rendering technology, not just a white paper. Third, it sits at the crossroads of AI and decentralized infrastructure, two of the strongest narratives in the space. Fourth, its token model ties value to actual usage through that burn mechanism. And fifth, it has measurable activity, thousands of active GPU nodes worldwide, and millions of frames processed, which is real traction beyond hype. But here's the honest other side. First, competition, and it's fierce. Render is up against the enormous centralized cloud giants, the Amazons and Googles of the world, who have near unlimited resources and deep enterprise relationships. It also competes with other decentralized compute projects chasing the same idea. Second, demand sensitivity. The whole model depends on a steady flow of paying jobs and on node operators finding it worth their while to participate. If either side weakens, the network suffers. Third, its focus has historically been narrower, centered on creative rendering, so a key open question is whether it can expand into broad AI compute without losing what makes it special. And fourth, like most AI and deep-in tokens, Render is highly volatile and heavily driven by narrative. Its price has swung dramatically and sits well below past highs. None of this makes it a bad project. It makes it one with real traction and real things still to prove. So where does Render stand in 2026? It's one of the more established names in the decentralized compute space, with a working network of thousands of GPU nodes and a track record of processing real creative and AI workloads, not just promises. Its expansion into AI compute has kept it firmly in the spotlight as demand for GPUs is still red hot. On market position, I'll note neutrally that Render is a mid-sized cryptocurrency by value, trading far below its 2024 peak, and I won't predict where it goes next. Be skeptical of anyone who claims they can. Its future hinges on a clear question: can it capture a meaningful slice of the exploding demand for compute against both centralized giants and decentralized rivals? So, who is Render for? This is about fit, not a recommendation to buy. For investors, it tends to attract those who believe in the AI and decentralized infrastructure themes and are comfortable with high volatility. For 3D artists, designers, and AI developers, it's genuinely useful, a way to access serious GPU power, often cheaper than traditional clouds. For studios and businesses, it offers scalable rendering and compute without owning expensive hardware. For people who own powerful GPUs, it's a way to earn by renting out idle power. And for crypto users drawn to the AI narrative, it's one of the more usage-backed ways to get exposure. The common thread: people who see real value in connecting the world's spare computing power to the world's growing hunger for it. Let's bring it together. Render Network is a decentralized marketplace for GPU power, an Airbnb for computing, backed by a real graphics company running on Solana that lets anyone rent out or tap into GPUs for 3D rendering and increasingly AI. Its token rewards the work and burns with usage, tying value to real demand. Its strengths are genuine: real usage, a mature foundation, and a spot at the heart of the AI and deep-in narratives. Its challenges are just as real: giant competitors, demand sensitivity, and narrative-driven volatility. The balanced bottom line: Render is one of the more grounded projects in the decentralized compute space, and it's still proving it can scale against serious competition. Understanding it isn't the same as deciding it's right for you, so do your own research, never invest more than you can afford to lose, and remember, nothing here is financial advice. If this finally made Render click for you, do me a quick favor: tap that like button right now, as it helps more crypto-curious individuals find these breakdowns. Then subscribe and turn on the bell, because every week I review multiple crypto projects and break them down exactly like this: clear, honest, and never hyped. If this helped you, share it with someone trying to make sense of crypto. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.